Hi, my name is Lindsay and this is my YouTube channel, One Cat Crafting, where I talk about my knitting, spinning, cross stitch, geocaching, sewing, all of the little hobbies that I have. Today is Tuesday, August 25th, but we are going to cover only August 1st to the 15th of my crafting, etc. with this video. I was gonna hold out until the end of the month and just do one video for the entirety of August. But I have a sneaking suspicion that my scheduling is about to go a little bit bonkers, so I thought I would sit down on my lunch break and record quickly while I have that opportunity. As always, hi, thank you for being here. This is my $0 production value podcast, $0 production value podcast. I don't have any lighting. I use my cell phone to record. I don't have any paid editing software. I prefer to use my disposable income for the crafts that I enjoy and not necessarily to make a pretty video. I'm just looking for a few people that have crafts in common with me that I can chat with. I always go in order of whatever is in my crafting journal. And this is my August so far. So if I look at my calendar, the first thing that I worked on this month was the Quick Quaker, originally a Sal by Modern Folk Embroidery. I stitched on this on August 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and finished it on the 7th. So here is that finish. I really like the colors. This was charted as a monochromatic piece. I found a picture online that had colors that I liked and just pulled from over-dyed stash that I already owned. The only intentional changes that I made were to fuss around with the setting to get my initials spaced evenly and the A lined up under the acorn. And then obviously the color changes, but I don't even think that I made any other mistakes or unintentional changes, as I like to call them. I have already ordered and received a frame for this. It is the wrong shade of blue, which I thought it might be. I ordered it on Etsy, so I'm going to pop to Michael's tonight and get some paint, and it's not been sealed yet, so I'll grab some sort of a shellac or seal or something. Paint that, give it some good time to dry, and then this will be framed, hopefully all said and done within a couple of weeks. Quakers and Modern Folk embroidery in general are, especially not his dark crosses, are not normally my jam, but I really enjoyed this quick little project. And I'm happy to have that finished and have that project bag empty for something else. After I finished the Quick Quaker, I started, I'll insert photos because it's not here, When Witches Go Riding by Tiny Modernist. So I have put about 1,700 stitches into that so far. I'll pop up the exact stats and percentages on the screen. I had previously a long-standing whip. If you were around for my beginning of 2026 whip parade, you will have seen it. If not, I'll pop a photo of it in here. It's Disturbed Women by Lucy Beam, and I really wanted this finished object. I really enjoyed reading the description and the pattern about all of the different ailments that women used to be institutionalized for. I hadn't stitched on it yet in 2026 when I picked it up on August 10th. Forced myself to get about 323 stitches into it and was doing that in not the best lit room in my house. I had 2 different colors of over-dyed silk in the bag, intending to use one for the lettering and one for the border. I picked up the wrong one, put those 323 stitches in the wrong color. It wasn't super noticeable, but it made me instantly furious. And I cut that part of the fabric off and threw it in the garbage, and it is now finished. It's gone. It's out of my stash. I'm not working on this again. It's gone. It's garbage day today. It's gone. I do like I said, I want the finished object, and I do like the texting and the history behind it. So I've recharted it using smaller font and taking up a smaller piece of fabric and maybe In the future, I will stitch that so that I can have that sign for the outside of my craft room, but for now I'm over it and I'm done. Also, first pumpkin spice latte of the season. I normally only drink 1 or 2 a year, but this year I've just been itching for a little bit of fall. It went down to 15 degrees Celsius the other night and I was like, that's it, it's happening, summer's done, fall is here. I'm very excited. Fall is my favorite time of the year. That's okay, so that's it for real for cross stitching. For knitting, I have only put in a little bit of stitching on my, I think this is probably my 6th Musselburgh hat. I picked this yarn up when we were in Nova Scotia many years ago. It's Mineville Wool Company, and I don't believe that they're dyeing anymore. I'm participating in the Elder Stash Mel, hosted by Jen of the Stash Down Diaries. The objective is to use the oldest materials for your craft from your stash and turn them into useful objects and be done with your older stash. So I have started that. I'm probably maybe 15 or 20% of the way through this skein of yarn. It'll be on the needles for a while longer because my knitting mojo just continues to be pretty much non-existent. It sits in my purse when I am waiting in line at the car wash or for an oil change or little, moments of time like that, then I'll throw some stitching on it. But aside from that, I just don't have the desire right now to sit down and do any solid cross stitching. But I have been doing some spinning. If you watched my, and only a couple of people did, my little rant video about needing a new spinning wheel, my electric eel wheel was giving me sass. I have zero patience for things like that. I don't want to fuss around with it. I don't want to change the motor. I just want it to work when I turn it on. And this was a wheel that I had backed through a Dreaming Robots Kickstarter some time ago. Anything you back something electronic from Kickstarter, there's always going to be room for improvements or room for revisions. For this wheel, it was the first time it was largely crowd tested. And my husband's had to change the motor in it a few times, and I wasn't in the mood to fuss around with it anymore. So I listed it for, well, first I figured out what the problem that I was having was, because I don't want to sell a wheel that's not working properly. And the problem was with the bobbin I had purchased from an aftermarket seller. It was 3D printed. We own a 3D printer, but I don't know how it works. What I gather is that this one was printed in layers, and when I would spin for a long period of time, the heat from the break band on the bobbin would heat the bobbin up and cause it to very slightly warp. And then that would cause my break band to just go wild. And by the time I had run into that issue, shut the wheel down, stopped what I was doing, and looked it all over, it had cooled down enough that it wasn't alarming to me that it was now only warm. So I resolved that by throwing the bobbin out, and I put on a new drive band and brake band, and all was well with it. And I listed it for sale on Ravelry, and someone in British Columbia purchased it, and all of its accessories and all of the spare parts that I had. Like I mentioned, I threw out that aftermarket bobbin, so they didn't get that. So I put that money towards purchasing a new Louet electric eel wheel. The name of it is Jenny, Jenn-E. I'll pop a photo up because it is at home. It is wooden, it's much heavier, it is much larger. It took me probably about an hour or so when I set it up to get my tension right. I haven't really had many tension problems in the last couple of years that I wasn't able to make a small adjustment and solve immediately. But this was right out of the box, and it just came however it left the factory. So understanding that it needed a little bit of time to be fussed around with. So that is up and running. I have now spun a full bobbin of a bag of fiber from my stash, and it's waiting to be plied. So as it sits right now, it's one very, very long string wound around my bobbin. I don't like to knit with anything that is single-stranded. I don't like how it biases, and I feel like it's a much weaker fiber because it's not got the security of plies. So it will be likely a 3-ply when I am ready to chain ply that. but I'm enjoying it. I will do a more thorough review, an overview of it. I do have a little bit of feedback about things about the wheel that just could be improved or changed, but I'm very happy with it. I hope that it treats me well, because it was an investment in my craft. But I mean, one wheel in, one wheel out, so even, I guess. What else? I purchased and assembled a new Lego kit. Is it? Yep, they're here. Give me a sec. It's the Blockheads kit based on the movie Up. So there's Carl. It's got a little flag on his backpack. I love the movie Up. I want to watch it again. So these guys right now are living on my desk at work. I need to find some sort of a display case for my Lego so that our cats do not damage anything. And acquisitions. The only other acquisition is we have already a large, I pulled up a little too close, a large aquarium at home. For about 9 or 10 years, it was home to our axolotls. Our last two passed away a couple of months ago, and the aquarium has just sort of sat empty since that time. My husband and I went to an aquarium store the other day. I have had snails as pets previously, and we picked up some different snails and 2 pleco fishes. And we're gonna let those guys settle in. So hopefully for the next video, I will have some photos of our, oh, we also got 3 shrimp, 3 cherry red shrimp. So we're gonna let those guys settle in, and then in a few more weeks, we'll hopefully add some fish to them. Once we can both find a fish in common that we like and that will get along with the plex and not eat the snails. Future plans is probably the most populated portion of my notes for the day. I will be very shortly starting the Mystic Moon pattern. I have purchased some of the MPIs that are called for. My plan was to purchase the MPIs that are the largest blocks in the moon so that the large color blocks are accurate, and then use DMC for the rest. And if I run out of the NPI after doing the moon, that's fine. I wanted the moon to be as color accurate as possible. I have also asked Roxy Floss Co. to do me a conversion for Blacked Sky. I do have the original paper chart pattern of this, and I've also purchased the digital download so that I don't need to fart around with getting the paper chart, a scan of the paper chart into markup. I would also like to start September's Revenge, and every year for the past several years, this has been fully kitted, ready to go for I wanted to do it for a birthday start. My birthday is September 28th. And every year without fail by September 28th, I am fully in Halloween mode and I don't want to stitch anything that's not spooky. So I'm thinking of starting September's Revenge around September 1st, as close to September 1st as I can get. And hopefully that's far enough away from Halloween that I'm not losing my mind excited for Halloween and wanting to go cross stitch all my creepy patterns in a cemetery. I mentioned the frame for the Quick Quaker Cell. I have a tattoo appointment that I'm pretty excited about coming up at a new to me shop in the Kawartha Lakes area where I live. So I will post photos of that once it's done. It is almost garlic time here in my area. If you have been around for a video or two, you know that last year I planted some garlic bulbs. They rotted over winter. Over spring, I had one green sprig growing out of the planter that they were in. I got very excited that one garlic had survived. I fed it and watered it all summer, and when it came time to harvest, it ended up being a little tiny baby corn on the cob that birds had, I guess, unintentionally planted when they dropped some corn from their feeder. So it's garlic season. I'm going to try again this year. I have purchased my ticket to the Harvest Moon Hangout hosted by Lindy Stitches, and I am looking for suggestions on a sort of family tree pattern. I have one that I've been considering only for the tree and how it is stitched, and I want to do a maternal line and then my father's maternal line as well. I have a ton of genealogical information about my father's side of the family and very, very little about my mother's side, who were all based in Hungary until my grandmother was born in Cornwall, Ontario, shortly after her family came to Canada. So I'm not sure which side to start with. I have one more month left on my Ancestry subscription. I'm gonna see how far I can get with the Hungarian side and then chart names out. So if you have any recommendations for a small to medium sized tree that I can fuss around with and put some of the names around, let me know in the comments below. I have another cross stitch whip that I have not touched this year, and although I like the idea of it, it's a Potions temperature cell from years gone by. I started it last year because in one year we went on vacation in the winter, so there would be an abnormal sort of color pattern during the winter months, and we purchased a house and I wanted to commemorate that. And although the pattern is very cute, I am not even 1 month finished, and I do not think that I want to invest that much crafting time in a pattern that is 365 little Potions bottles. So I'm pretty sure that I'm going to UFO it. I'm not sure if I'm going to cut that piece of the fabric that I have it on off and throw it away, if I am going to rip back to the last fully completed bottle and turn it into some sort of a bookmark. Not sure yet, but I don't want to work on that one anymore. There's just too many little fiddly color changes, and it's going to consume a massive amount of my available crafting time. And it will be huge at the end of the day, and my wall space allotment for my normal things cross stitch is pretty minimal because most of what I stitch is morbid, Halloween, fall. So I need to be conscious and considerate of what large projects I want to put on my normal people wall. And lastly, I've been watching a couple of new Flosstubes YouTube channels, and I wanted to mention these people. I've gone through my YouTube subscription list recently and sort of cleaned it out. There were several channels that I was subscribed to that I never really watched their videos anymore. There's a couple of people that have been gone for many years, and I'm quite confident they're not coming back, so I've unsubscribed where necessary. And I found some new people and I wanted to share them with you. I'll link them below. I've been watching Inverted Stitcher. She has a couple of back episodes and I really enjoy her content. She stitches a lot of self-drafted, from what I've seen from her so far, Pokemon themed cross stitches, and I like her personality and I enjoy, spending a half an hour, 45 minutes of my time with her. Another YouTuber is Cat's Cross Stitches, and again, she's linked below. And I've been spending some time watching her back episodes. And another one is October Cove. I wrote down Stitches, but I'm not sure if it's Stitches or Stitcher. I will have her linked below as well. So go check those people out if you are somehow watching me and not them. And I think that is about it for this installment. I don't have any new geocaching to report yet. There will be some in the next episode. I haven't done any sewing. I've barely done any knitting. I really hope that my Knitting Mojo comes back. I have several large projects on the go, and I was in my craft room the other day thinking about how many project quantities of yarn I have earmarked for specific things and how little Knitting Mojo I have right now, and feeling bad about all the stash that I have when I'm not using it right now. Yeah, so hopefully my Knitting Mojo comes back. I am also open to thinking about selling some items if I feel like they're things that I just don't have an interest in crafting with anymore. But I am not there yet. I am busy throwing out all of my cross stitches that I no longer have a passion to work on. Yeah, that's it. So I will see you again at the end of August, beginning of September. We'll talk about the rest of the month of August. By then I will have some progress on a new start, which is Mystic Moon. I will show you all the materials that I have kitted up for September's Revenge, and hopefully my floss conversion for Blacked Sky has come in by then. If you are working on any of the patterns that I want to start, or if you also want to start any of those patterns, let me know and we can do like a little start along and Instagram back and forth photos of our progress. But for now, have a great day and I'll see you again shortly.